What's going on, guys? This is political ideas and thoughts. And this apparently, Trump is, banning or going to ban flavored vapes. The reason why I'm talking about this is because this is over 6 deaths. And I'm not saying that these deaths aren't important. They are important. What I'm pointing out, what I'm should be obvious, right? But the media doesn't really cover this for some reason. But cigarettes cause over 300,000 deaths a year. But they're talking about vaping constantly. Well, not constantly, but they're talking about it a lot. Which is weird because, you would think that it would be better to vape rather than, smoke cigarettes, which are actually worse for you than, vaping. It has less, I believe it has less nicotine than cigarettes, but I'm not sure. Definitely has less carcinogens than cigarettes does. And there was some good arguments about, you shouldn't sell this stuff to children. Okay, fine. I agree with that. But the problem that we have here is that Trump is going to ban it. And I'm thinking he's doing this for political reasons, actually, but I might get into that later on in a second. But he's banning it because of 450 cases and 6 deaths. Pretty sure drowning is more, of a problem than vaping. What, are we going to ban water now? I mean, I'm being hyperbolic. I'm joking, but still. The overreaction is, probably not such a good idea on their part because they're not, they're looking at why these things happen. And I'm not saying that nothing should be done. I think there should be some kind of study on why this is happening. Why is, flavored vaping doing this? I think this is true for a lot of things, like, the gun problem or violence or whatever. Why are people committing violence? What underlying motive is there? What is the point, right? What are the underlying causes? What are the root causes of something? Now I get it. There's a there's an epidemic, so-called epidemic. I don't really know if I'd call it that because it's, it's not that common, but, it happens. But, I believe that banning is a bit of an overreaction. I don't think banning ever works anyways. The problem with banning, the problem that I see is going to happen with banning is what happened with alcohol. I mean, several thousand people die of alcohol poisoning every year. But we don't ban alcohol because of, the consequences. We know what the consequences are. We saw, if you look at history in the 20s, organized crime used that to make money because people aren't just going to stop doing this because you ban this thing. They're going to keep doing it, and they ended up getting alcohol that was stronger than they thought it was, or was contaminated with some kind of poison or something. Well, not poison necessarily, but some kind of toxic chemical or something like that. And this is what happens when you have no, oversight of what's happening here. This is why I don't think banning is very effective usually. I mean, there are some cases when it can be useful. But I don't really think it works most of the time because, most of the things that people ban or companies ban or whatever, they don't always do it. Not necessarily that they don't always do it, but that it doesn't always do what they think it's going to do. There's always some kind of consequence. I mean, there's a consequence even for the times when it makes sense, right? But usually it's a little bit better, and there's more of a there's more of a common sense there. The reason why, I don't really know why I'm making a video about this, but I haven't really made a video on this channel in a while, so I'm just making, videos because, I thought this was important to point out. What is causing this? What is causing, gun violence? Why, is this happening? Some people are against, universal background checks for guns. I don't know if that's necessarily, the way to go or not. I think it probably makes sense. But it's a nuanced issue. Life is nuance. Basically, life is, complicated. It's not one thing or another. That's part of why I wanted to make this video, to point, life is not like black and white. It's usually shades of gray. But yeah, I just wanted to, make this video because it's been a while since I've made a video on this channel, and I actually don't really think it's a smart play. I think it's more advantageous to ban it for like a certain age group, like under 18 or whatever. Makes sense. And to do studies on what it's actually doing, these flavors are actually doing. That makes sense. But the problem I see is happening, that the reason why, the same thing is true for the drug war. That's why the drug war isn't working and never has worked. It's because you're banning something that, people are going to try. Banning something isn't going to stop people from using it. All they're going to do is they're going to turn to illegal sources. Which is why banning guns doesn't completely make sense. I do think that there should be, regulations and stuff on guns. Sometimes, it depends on the area. It depends on the regulation that's there. And, other factors. But, where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, what the banning is, it just doesn't usually solve the problem. People say that, if you ban guns, criminal elements don't care about, background checks or, laws or anyways, so they're going to find a way to get it, which is partly true. But, there are people who are, have clean background checks who might end up, who will end up doing this stuff. Anyway, so, background checks don't always work and won't always work. And I think for those kind of cases, we need some kind of mental health education, publicly funded and widely available, which isn't really something we have, I don't really think. Doesn't seem like we do anyways. And, help for, like, the needy and the poor. I think that's why, like I said, UBN instead of UBI, because I think universal basic needs. Because it's been shown that, people who are in poverty, they have limited, or not limited, but their intelligence is lower because of poverty. We know this is true. There's studies that show this. So, I don't know. There's a lot to go that could be said about this. But I just wanted to point this out. The drug war is a really good example of why banning isn't working. They legalized, marijuana. They legalized alcohol back in the day. It didn't work. All it did is make organized crime, a stronger thing, stronger than it was at the time. So, which is why, education is important. Why it's a good idea to have some kind of, empirically backed up law that says, well, this works. We know this works because of this, or whatever. And this is why we're putting this in practice. We don't really have that. A lot of this has to do with a lack of education, a lack of understanding, a lack of wisdom, a lack of awareness. Sometimes a lack of love and stuff like that. So, anyways, I just wanted to, just state my thoughts. So, I'll see you in the next video. If you like it, you can share it or like it or whatever. Subscribe. This is Political Ideas and Thoughts, and I'll see you on the next video.